Hey everybody, this is part of our full-length primetime podcast. You can check it out on BlogTalkRadio, iTunes, YouTube, plenty more. I hope you enjoy.
But we are going to move on into another kind of it's not as serious as the Joe Mixon situation, but it's a pretty serious situation when it comes to the world of football, and that's WakeyLeaks, as a few people are calling it. Instead of WikiLeaks, it's WakeyLeaks. And basically, if you're new to the party, basically what happened is the color commentator for the Wake Forest football team, who used to be an assistant coach when Jim Grobe was there. Grobe leaves, goes to Baylor. The new coach comes in, Clawson. Clawson decides not to keep this assistant. This assistant goes on to be the color coordinator or color commentator, and then he starts taking some plays and leaking them and giving them to teams like Louisville and Virginia Tech. Brandon, I just want to start out. You really wanted to talk about this. This is basically your topic. What were your thoughts when you first heard about this, and what are your thoughts now?
Well, I'll tell you what. When I first heard this, which was, when was it? About a week ago, Thursday or so. I'm hearing this and I'm thinking, did I miss something?
Because it was the day we were recording the previews.
Yes. And I'm thinking, did I miss something? Did this happen a long time ago and now I'm just catching it? Because I'm listening to Mike and Mike, typical. But I think that after hearing all this, at the beginning, when I heard this, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, this is bad. Because they're saying, I can't remember who they were talking to, but they were saying how Wake Forest practices always open to the public, never had any problems, nothing like that at all. And, you know, people could kind of come and go as they pleased, and, you know, broadcasters could come in and, you know, talk with them and really get good information and on all those types of things. And how after this situation, going to them, trying to talk to them, it was more like, nah, sorry, we can't talk to you. Practice is closed. All this stuff, because we just don't know who the leak could be or where the leak could be. And this is obviously after it had happened, but before they found out where it was. And they're like, yeah, we can't have this. We can't have anyone coming in anymore. We're sorry, blah blah blah. But it's just not going to happen. And I'm thinking, it's like one of those guys who is going to ruin it for everybody else. You know what I mean? The one in school that ruins it because of him. You can't have your snack anymore. And it's like, screw you, I want my snack. But now that it's all come out, Tommy Elrod, I look at that man, unfortunately, in my eyes, I don't know him. I don't know him personally.
And Elrod is the
Tommy Elrod, excuse me. He was the color commentator
not with him anymore.
For Wake Forest. He played football at Wake Forest.
Assistant coach
Wake Forest. And then broadcaster Wake Forest. He is a traitor. He is a straight up low-life traitor. And the reason I say that, you do not, I don't care how much money you're being paid, you don't sell out your team, that you don't sell out your family. Would you sell out your family? Because that's what he did. He sold out his family. And how
Damo has taught me, family comes first.
How dare you? Well, you don't watch the trailer then for the new one because it's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Do not ever sell out your family for anything. Your blood family or not. Because guess what? I'm hoping out there everyone's got the non-blood family. And what he did to them, whether or not it crumbled their program, didn't crumble their program, he made them look bad. He made them look weak. He made them look like, oh yeah, Wake Forest, this is happening to Wake Forest. They have no clue. Ha ha ha. And then these other schools and some of these people, whether it got to the top or not, you know, Bobby Petrino's going, it didn't even help us. You know, we were going to beat them anyways. But, I think...
That's a whole different story we'll get into in a second.
I think it's just ridiculous. I think it's unfathomable how you're able to do that to people who you've worked with for years, to the school you went to.
And
I'm sorry. How do you have to answer me? How could you ever think that that's okay? What goes through his mind? What went through his mind? I mean, where are you on this situation?
With me, I wanted to read you a quote, and this is from head coach Dave Clawson. He said, and I quote, "We allowed him to have full access to our players, team functions, film room, and practices. This guy had the full gambit to everything. He could talk to whoever he wanted, had whoever he wanted, and where I sit on this, my first thought when you brought this to me, Brandon, because with me, like, I first heard about it, and my first thought about it was, okay, this will be out here for a day or two, and then it'll get swept under the rug. I didn't think it was that big of a story. I didn't think it was going to snowball into this big of a story, and then it did. But now it's like my first thing when you told me about it, I was like, follow the money. Find the money trail and follow that money. Because my first thought was, he ain't doing it for free. He is not doing this for free unless he's getting a little cheddar on the side. And now that I'm thinking about it, and you look at, he was an assistant coach for Grobe, Clawson doesn't keep him on. This is like, let's make a movie of this. Like, let's get Kevin Spacey to play Elrod, and let's make a movie out of this. Kevin, if you're watching, let's do it. We can make money off of it. I'm pitching it right now, Kev. You see me. House of Cards was a big hit. This could be even better. WakeyLeaks. That's what we could, like, that's the working title I got. I know it's unoriginal, but that's the working title I got. WakeyLeaks.
Well, you know who is one
something.
You know who's one person that would see it?
Who?
Julian Assange. He wants to see how that relates to WakeyLeaks.
Yeah, how it relates to WakeyLeaks. But
which one's better?
But this is something where it's like, it's so movie-like. Oh, I got spurred by the incoming head coach. Let's fuck up his season. Let's mess it up a little bit and sabotage him.
So in an article that Bob Ryan wrote, he said that what he has seen amongst most people right now that is at the forefront of why he did this was gambling and trying to gamble on it and then put his money on who was going to win, and he could make lots of money. But again, that still doesn't necessarily put why. Why would he do that to, okay, take the coaches out, take all that out. The players. Why would you do that to the players?
Well, I got one thing to say about the gambling part. Who's picking Wake Forest to win many games this year? 6-6 to me was like, damn, you're 6-6 after going 3-9 last year? Kudos to you, man. Kudos to you. You guys did a good job. Who's picking Wake Forest to win many games this year? So really it's like, so wait, you're trying to give up the leaks to basically make sure you win anyways that you probably would have won before?
Yeah, see, that doesn't necessarily make sense to me either, because of the fact too is that it's not like it's Alabama or Ohio State or anything like that. And people would certainly notice if all of a sudden, there was this huge, trend to money on Wake Forest, stuff like that, then it's like, what's going on here? Or something like that. So But I think that would be really hard to see, and maybe that's what he was thinking, though, is no one's going to notice that because that's never going to happen. It's going to fly so far under the radar, no one's ever going to see that.
No one's going to look at
Wake Forest, exactly.
No one's going to look at me. I'm nowhere near the coaching staff.
So I think that that's one of the things that is very interesting. Ricky, I still don't understand this. And how about we get to the point of the players? I don't understand it for them. You may have a gripe against the coaching staff. You may not even have a gripe against the coaching staff. I'm not sure exactly what's up with this guy. But the players, what did they did nothing. They did nothing to him. They're out there trying, hopefully, to better their program, better themselves so they can continue to go up, instead of down at Wake Forest football. I don't get it. And that is one thing that I don't think I've really gotten a solid grasp on. Mm-hmm. Could it be money? Certainly. Does it look like it is? Yes, it looks like it could definitely be going that way. But why? Why did you need it so badly? Why this way? Mm-hmm. Why? There's so many more questions than answers right now in this.
Well, the one question I wanted to get to was kind of the overarching question for this segment for our YouTube viewers is, should the coaches who received these plays face any sort of suspension? And before we get to that, I think we got to focus on a one certain Bobby Petrino. And the reason why I say that is this is the same man who went on Mike and Mike, basically said, you know what? We did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. And then his AD comes on like a day later, contradicts the whole thing. Petrino comes on, we didn't have any. Didn't have any plays, don't know what you're talking about. Basically what he said. I'm paraphrasing. Then the AD comes on and goes, well, we had them, we just didn't use them. Basically contradicting everything you said. And the thing, not you, but Bobby Petrino, you. And I look at this and I go, when Bobby Petrino said he didn't know of anything, can we take this man honestly and seriously? The answer is no, folks. This is the same guy who, when he was at Arkansas, stood there after his motorcycle accident, basically made up a story, and then we found out that he's riding a motorcycle with student-athlete volleyball player Jessica Donald, and he's fired that April. It happens early April. He's fired a little bit later in April. And then in July, he's telling us how he's got to make things right with his family. So this is a guy who he's done it. He's lied to us in the past.
He's a goof.
Well, he's lied to us in the past. Why wouldn't he lie to us now?
Exactly. And I think that that's one of the things, though, too, is that with the whole thing with Louisville, it was almost to the point of being so smug about it, the fact of, yeah, we had the plays. Didn't need to run them, though. We were going to beat them anyways.
And the only reason they got caught was because, well, and here's the thing. The thing that was great was like, oh, well, we didn't need them. Yeah, you want to know why you didn't need them? Because Clausen found your sheet on the field before the game and said, well, we can't use these. They're going to know this is coming and change the game plan on you. That's why you didn't need them. That's why you didn't need them, Bobby. Oh, my. It's like you're trying to pull a fast one on us when we've seen the tape before. We just have to go back to 2012 to rewatch the tape. So I'll get to the final question. I'll throw it at you first. Should coaches like the OC at Louisville, Bobby Petrino, the coach at Virginia Tech, should they face suspensions for receiving plays through Enrod and WakeyLeaks?
I think it's not for the fact that they received them. It's the fact that they said, yes, I will take them. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to receive them in the mail. You know, if you know what I'm saying is that if you get them, they just send them in, and you're randomly like, who would have given me something today? You know, and you're just kind of looking through. I don't think my mom was sending me anything, and you look at it and you're like, oh crap, these are not our plays. These are clearly coming from somewhere else. You know what you could do?
Immediately, they should have alerted Wake Forest and alerted the NCAA.
Yep, and that's absolutely that's what I would like to think that I would have done. That's what I would like to think that most people in that situation would have done, because I would like to think that most people are
good people.
Not even just good people, but they enjoy the spirit of competition. You're taking that away if you're giving plays up.
Especially if you're a team like Louisville where you're favored to win, you've got the Heisman on your team.
Yeah. I mean, my goodness gracious. I think that for something like that, it's just you're not only being a slimy person. Mm-hmm. You're not only hurting the kids on that team. You're really not doing any good to your own team, because guess what? You think that when you get to, let's say it all worked out, you got to a game against Alabama, you think Alabama's people giving you any plays? I don't think so. They're going to beat your ass. So I think that is the thing that's killing me, is that you have ruined. You're ruining competition.
Well, and I mean no disrespect to Wake Forest when I say this. This is just how ludicrous that I think Louisville having to accept plays really was. It'd be like if Bill Belichick was going to go up against the Browns, the Patriots-Browns this year, and went, yeah, I might not need them, but here, let me take these plays and look at them. It's like, come on. You don't need them. I know Wake Forest had a lead in that game, and it was close, but let's be honest. Louisville was winning that game.
Yeah, no. Besides, Belichick already tried that once with the Jets. He figured out he didn't need to do it again.
It didn't work. Got caught red-handed. But should they get suspension?
Yes, I say without a doubt they should be suspended because there's no place for that in college football.
I think suspension should be done as well. Plus, I think the NCAA should investigate on Louisville.
I do too.
Investigate and see what happens. I'm not saying like, oh, death penalty or anything, but I look at Penn State, I look at USC, I look at all these other places that get like scholarships taken away. Maybe this should lead to something.
Okay, and to go along with that, let me just be a complete weirdo.
Go ahead.
And you're going, you always are, Brandon.
Permission to weird on.
But if they did an investigation into Louisville, would they find that this isn't the only one?
Would they find more dirty laundry?
That's what I'm saying.
More dirty laundry?
That's what I'm saying. Is there possibility at Louisville alone that they would find more things where their assistants or staffers, it's always staffers. It's always staffers. We need to get rid of staffers because that's who it is. It's never the head coach. They're oblivious. But I think that this isn't the first time with just Louisville. It is basketball. It is football.
This is even the worst thing to come out of Louisville this year.
But I think they should do an investigation
of the whole
into
school? Or the whole
Louisville.
Athletic department?
Into the athletic department. How is that AD running things over there? Who are they letting get away with what? What's going on? What's their procedure for different things like that? Do they have one? Do they care?
You know what this is a conspiracy theory for? The comment section. You guys let us know down below what you guys think. It's a perfect conspiracy theory for them, the viewers, to look at. And I want you guys to do that. Let us know down below what you think about what would you find at Louisville if you did a little bit more digging into that athletic department.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed a lot of emotion. If you want more, click this video right over my left shoulder. You will certainly not regret it.